Good morning, everyone. We're trying a little experiment with this, and I really would appreciate any feedback on how it works for you. So do drop me an email or a text or something like that. Last Sunday, we were looking at the very real issue of doubt. And in our context, what is belief? What does it mean? Uh, let's just go pop through the looking glass and see what the White Queen has got to say about it. "I can't believe that," said Alice. "Can't you?" the White Queen said in a pitying tone. "Try again. Draw a long breath and shut your eyes." Alice laughed. "There's no use in trying," she said. "One can't believe impossible things." "I dare say you haven't had much practice," said the Queen. "When I was your age, I always did it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." True belief is not a matter of trying, of drawing a deep breath, of shutting our eyes until we can believe 6 impossible things. And thank you, Lewis Carroll, for helping us rule something out. In what we've heard just now, Luke's account, we see Cleopas and another follower of Jesus walk from Jerusalem to the village of Emmaus. At the same time, we can see their journey from doubt to faith. Just 3 or 4 days ago, they really believed in Jesus. They had faith. They said themselves, "He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people." Note that very significant word, "was." It's in the past. Jesus is no more, and all has changed. As they start their journey, they're experiencing things which we too experience. They face disappointment. We had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel. That's what they said. But again, that was in the past. They had learned so much from this amazing prophet, seen his incredible power transforming people's lives, sick people healed, dead people brought back to life, a life-threatening weather event at sea totally reversed, food provided for a huge number of hungry people, exposure of corruption and hypocrisy in political and religious leaders, and just recently, marching into the capital, ready, it would seem, to declare himself as the new king. This incredible person was all set to massively transform everything in their own lives and in the whole of society. Then their hopes and dreams were all dashed within the space of just one day. This man was murdered by the state. To say that they were disappointed is a massive understatement. But have you been there? Are you experiencing disappointment? Did you have hopes and plans for health, happiness, for promotion, for a happy family, for security? And so much has failed to materialize. They were also facing sadness. They were grieving. Luke says that their faces were downcast. They had lost someone who had become very precious to them, someone who had helped them in so many ways, someone who could never be replaced. There was a massive hole in their hearts. Have you been there? Have you experienced sadness? Has your other half passed away? Have you lost a friendship? Are you overwhelmed by depression? And then there was confusion. They were facing confusion. They say to Jesus, "Some of our women amazed us. They went to the tomb early this morning, but didn't find his body. They came and told us that they'd seen a vision of angels who said he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but they did not see Jesus." Cleopas and his companion didn't know what to think. As far as they knew, Jesus' body had totally disappeared. There was no real indication that he had somehow revived, but some hysterical women were talking about meeting supernatural beings. What on earth was going on? How are they to make sense of it? Have you been there? Are you experiencing confusion? What's going on? If God's behind it, what's he playing at? Are you facing a dilemma? What should you do? They were also facing frustration. They said, "Are you the only one visiting Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened there in these days?" These two people are on the road trying to make sense of all that's happened. Then they meet someone who may at least be able to throw a bit of light on things, but they work out that he clearly doesn't have the foggiest idea. He doesn't understand the problem, let alone have any answers. This isn't going to lead anywhere. Have you been there? Are you experiencing frustration? Does no one really understand what you're going through? Are well-meaning friends offering glib and totally irrelevant advice? Is nothing moving forward? And then these all combine together to create doubt. We had hoped that he was the only one who was going to redeem Israel, they said. Notice again the tense of that word, hoped. It's all in the past. Now everything has changed. They can no longer believe in what they believed so strongly just 4 days ago. They've lost faith in Jesus, and they will never be able to regain it. This has taken away all that's happened. This has taken away their simple confidence and joy. Have you been there? Are you experiencing doubt? Have you, it seems, lost your childhood faith? Has God turned out to look more like a cruel tyrant than a loving father? Is it all a fairy tale? Is it logically and scientifically impossible? But then everything changes. They are able to start dealing with it. First of all, they deal with it by sharing. They tell Jesus what's in their hearts. They pour it all out. Everything that's happened, everything that they're feeling, even though they suspect he won't be able to help. You've got someone you can share with. It could be Jesus himself, though it may feel as if you're just talking to yourself. It may be a trusted friend. They also start listening. They try to put aside their feelings for the moment and really listen. They allow their heavy, broken hearts to be touched and warmed by the truth that Jesus shares. and you've got someone you can listen to. Again, it could be, indeed it is, Jesus himself, though it may feel that you just got thoughts in your head and nothing more. It may be that you can listen to a Christian you respect, or it may even be a little child. And then thinking. That may sound a bit obvious, but Jesus gently chides his two traveling companions. How foolish you are. Now, this word foolish is not a description of their permanent state. It speaks of not using your capacity to think, failing to mull things through. And the solution is simple. Start using your thinking powers. Start mulling through things. And you've got someone who can help you work things through. We call him the Holy Spirit. Sometimes he helps direct your thoughts from within. Sometimes he uses other people who care for you. They also deal with it by digging into the Bible. Luke explains, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he, that's Jesus, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself. Earlier as well, Jesus had chided them for being slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Note that word all in both these words of Jesus. Because the New Testament hadn't been written yet, that meant all of the Old Testament. So they together went over bits that they were familiar with, as well as bits they hadn't really understood or even didn't know at all. And as they went through them with Jesus' help, things began to make sense and fit together. And you've got something that will help. Not just the Old Testament, but the New Testament too. Now, we often get either hung up on bits of the Bible that seem unhelpful, or all rosy-eyed about bits we've come to love. But Jesus encourages us to look at all the scriptures. This is easier now than it ever has been. There are printed Bibles that come in every shape, size, and language imaginable. The Bible's also on websites, in apps, on Kindle, available in MP3 audio, and all four Gospels are even available as video. Ask me about it if you want to explore further. Adding on to this, there are all sorts of helps to understand it. One of them is the course on the Bible that we're going to be studying shortly at St. Gabriel's. Sign up now. And then they deal with it by carrying on. Despite all that they were facing, these two people on the road didn't just concentrate on themselves and turn inwards. They invited this stranger to come and eat with them and even stay the night. They didn't forget to be hospitable, to show respect, to serve him a meal. And you've got tasks to be carrying on with, tasks that you know God would want you to do. Don't let doubt and discouragement stop you. Maybe you can't do as much, maybe you can't be enthusiastic, but keep going. Then suddenly, Jesus was there with them in their home. Well, actually, he'd been there all along, and that slowly began to think something was happening. But here, suddenly, he is. He'd been there all along, but they hadn't realized it. We don't know how it was they recognized him. Was it the way he broke the bread? Was it that they suddenly noticed the nail scars on his hands? We don't know. But in a few seconds, Before he disappeared, everything changed. Faith was back even more strongly, and joy was overwhelming. So there we are. Doubt is common for people who love God. Cleopas and his friend doubted. Thomas doubted. A bit later, the disciples doubted. But that is not the end. In all these ways, Jesus can help us through. Don't give up. God bless you all.